In 2012, this dog treat business came about because of a dog treat scare in the state of Michigan and because of a small shih-tzu named Wicket. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced on the campus of Madonna University. I'm Chris Benson, and we're welcoming Dawn Sommers today, the founder of Doggone Delicious Dog Treats, to the show. Dawn, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, so Doggone Delicious, where did the inspiration for this come from? We heard a little bit about Wicket.
We did. So our first Shih Tzu Wicket was the reason I started the business. The treats, we were being told the jerkies and the pizza things that we were purchasing from, unfortunately, China were tainted and dogs were dying, and I did not want to see Wicket be one of those casualties. So I thought of a few things that he really loved. He loved peanut butter, and he absolutely loved cheese, and I started making him some snacks. And it kind of blossomed from there.
Oh my gosh, and so we had a picture of Wicket that we showed here so that we could see, and so that's what made it all start. That's where it came from.
That is everything. I never expected it to be where it is now. It's just something small. At one point, before I was official with the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, I had my mother-in-law, or now mother-in-law, selling my treats at craft shows.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, well, here, honey, you've sold 25 bags of peanut butter at my show Saturday. And I couldn't believe how popular they were becoming. And Wicket sure did not complain. He was always at the oven begging for more. So it kind of blossomed from there.
So you made the treats. Walk me through the process. So you made the treats in your own house. What did you package them in? And did you, how did you decorate that? I mean, did you just put them in a bag with a tie? How did it start?
Originally, honestly, just a Ziploc bag. I took the peanut butter treats, and it was just simply peanut butter, flour, water that I mixed in my KitchenAid mixer. I cut them out with a little dog bone cookie cutter, bake them in the oven, let them cool, bag them up, and then I would feed them to Wicket, and then I would also sell them at those little craft shows on the weekend. As things changed, I would put them in those brown tin tie coffee bags that you usually see coffee coming in with a makeshift label. And now we see a completely different look, a new bag with a paw print and a professional label and a logo, actually.
And did you have any experience with this, either making dog treats in the past, starting your own business, doing all the things that go along with a business?
Absolutely none.
Oh, wonderful.
Started it right from the beginning. It was a lot of work. I know I kind of got started back in 2010, but officially it was 2012.
Okay.
Because I had to go through and figure out how can I actually legally sell dog treats and get the sales tax license, and I had to have the dog treats each tested for things like crude fat and crude protein and moisture and things of that nature. So it was a process, a big learning curve, but it's turned out quite well.
How did you learn? Where did you go to get all that information of how to do this?
I will say Google was my best friend. I was
see.
always searching something, and then the MDARD website, that Michigan Department of Agriculture, was a huge help. They had so many helpful things on there. People you could contact, they have been really helpful to walk me through the extra steps. Even when I added some more product, they were there to guide me as to what I have to do to make sure I can get it done seamlessly.
So I know you mentioned there was cheese and peanut butter to start. And how did you branch out into more flavors? Were there other shapes? There's all kinds of possibilities, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. So I thought Wicket was probably getting bored with just peanut butter, and he loved cheese. And I thought, well, let's make a few more things. So he was on the chubbier side towards the later stage of his life, so I did make some low-fat treats. So I found out I could do sweet potato treats, which were also in the shape of a 2-inch bone. I also did a low-fat carrot, and I boiled the carrots in a nice beef stock, so it has that beefy flavor behind the healthy carrot. He did experience my blueberry dog treats, also low-fat. And then I thought about some other treats. I ended up doing something called a peanutty pugkin piece.
Oh my gosh.
So those are like a 1-inch square, maybe 1.5, because I do make everything. I am not, using anything other than my hands and the KitchenAid mixer and cookie cutters. So those are peanut butter, which is my #1 selling, with that healthy pumpkin and flaxseed. So it's kind of a nice little mix.
Sure, it sounds delicious. Like I want to try them myself. Now, let me ask, can people eat them?
You totally can.
Wow, and are they delicious for people too?
They are delicious, but I will warn you, so they are crunchy.
Okay.
So definitely right out of the oven, you can eat as much as your heart's content, and my nephews and I all have. However, in the bag, they're like a biscotti, so they are that crunchier texture. Definitely dip in coffee.
I was gonna say a little tea, a little coffee, maybe soften it up a little,
Exactly.
right?
But the crunch is nice for dogs' teeth.
Oh,
so that way you
sure.
can get that tartar off as well. So it's like a natural toothbrush by chewing on that dog treat.
So you have a day job in addition to this. So this is something that you did while you maintained a full-time job.
Yes.
Do you want to share with people what you do during the day?
I do. So I teach first grade in Oak Park. So I am busy teaching Monday through Friday with responsibilities after school and on the weekends. But I find time to maintain the business. I do push a lot of my business into the summer, because that is the time that we have those nice weeks off as a school teacher. So I am usually busy every weekend baking, planning, attending shows, stocking stores. But I found a way to make it work, and there are some very late nights. Last week was one of those where I had shows after school several nights and all weekend long.
And how big is your business now?
So it's still just me. I do all the work. I will say, getting to this point, I really did have a lot of help. Before my mom passed away, she was a huge supporter, so she would come with me on the weekends to all my shows and help me sell dog treats, and my father as well. So I've been lucky. They've been there to help when it got to a busy show where I couldn't handle the sales all by myself. I needed two people to kind of help sell product and bring money in.
A lot. So how many products do you have?
Currently, I have 9 regular bags of dog treats.
Okay.
I have 2 wheat-free treats. Now, the 2 wheat-free came about just because I had customers at the farmers market saying, well, you know, I have an allergy to wheat. If my dog licks me, I honestly can't have that.
Oh,
Can
wow.
you make something? So that's how I made the wheat-free treats. It wasn't out of anything other than that to begin with, and they've blossomed. I also have a grain-free treat, and one that Wicket never got to try was my diabetic treat.
Oh my gosh, so many different things. We have to take a short break, but please stay with us. You'll hear more from Dawn, and we're going to take a look at some of these amazing products she brought with her. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Maria, so how's work?
It was 4th period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson, and I'm here with Dawn Sommers of Doggone Delicious Dog Treats, and we're going to talk about a subject that everyone has been familiar with lately, the pandemic. I mean, we're wearing masks, we're clearly still involved. So for some Michigan businesses, we featured a lot of them on the show. The pandemic was, there were downturns and there were upturns. How was your business affected?
So shows were my biggest concern. I know I did one wholesale show in February, and then everything just started canceling that year. And I was nervous, and I thought, this is the reason I have a full-time teaching job, so I can still pay my bills. So I was extremely fortunate. Mm-hmm. But as the pandemic went on, I realized my wholesale orders for stores did improve. My online orders improved, and then the locals in Davisburg who normally get from me continued. So they were still able to afford and purchase treats. And I think when it was all said and done, I came to the realization that I didn't have to do the once 55 shows a year that I was maintaining and teaching full time. I could sit back and enjoy the nephews and my dad's pool and do 25 shows a year and still get my treats out there and actually have some more family time, but still maintain my business.
And I just want to pause there a minute. So you said 55 shows, and I'm trying to think how many weeks there are in a year. There's 52, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, last time I checked. So you did more than one show a week sometimes?
Yes, there were weekends where I did a show Saturday and Sunday, and some shows that are bigger, like the Lavender Fest, are a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, or the Made in Michigan was a 3-day show. And
what are some of the other shows that you've been to? Those are just a couple that
Christmas in Clawson is a wonderful show. Both of the Troy high schools have an amazing show. United Wholesale Mortgage puts on a wonderful event for their people. The Lavender Fest is amazing. Buy Michigan Now in Northville. There's just a plethora of shows that are simply a great way to get your product out there and to get those regulars coming out into a new area and purchasing your treats.
And I imagine it's fun too. What are the ups and downs of show life? Because I think of like the Ann Arbor Art Fair, and there's a Farmington, they have a art show, and I love the atmosphere, but I've never been on the other side of the table. What is it like to be on the other side of the table?
Well, you said Ann Arbor Art Fair. I did do that show once. It was 99 degrees or higher.
It always is like very, very hot.
I bought the Ryobi fan, so I had, the fan that I could kind of keep myself a little bit cool and I wouldn't pass out.
Yeah.
So it's the heat sometimes. Yep. It's the rain. I remember being in Tawas once and a storm came in with no notice.
Of
and
course.
We're on the water. And my mom stood there holding the tent down in the lightning as it was hailing us, running stuff to the car. And she was always, if she heard thunder, she's like, we have to take shelter now.
Sure.
And she stood there being, risk of being hit by lightning. So the weather is crazy with these outdoor shows. And even the lugging of your tent and 200 pounds of weight isn't always the best thing, but it keeps you safe in many of these events.
Oh, sure. Well, I understand you brought some pictures to share with us, so we're going to take a look at those, and we'll take a look at those on the screen. And there's one right now.
So this is my early days. Before logo, these are the tin tie coffee bags. It was a start. This is actually at Holly High School. So not as much to see, but it's the beginning, which is important because I've come a long way since then.
Oh, look at that with the professional tablecloth and everything. Very nice.
Thank you. It took a long time, but I finally did upgrade to that professional logo, and Wicket is my logo that you see.
Aww.
So those are all my specialty dog bones. Those are pretty much my #1 selling. So it's peanut butter, flour, water. That's my actual peanut butter recipe. And you'll see on most of those, it is yogurt chips that I melt and put on top. And what looks like chocolate on those peanut butter pretzel sticks is actually just carob chips.
Because of course, chocolate, not good for dogs.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I also have a couple non-peanut butter ones that are on there as well.
Oh, so festive, look at these.
So this is my #1 selling Christmas tub, or holiday tub for those. It is all 8 of my dog treats in one. So it has my peanut butter dog treat, it has my pumpkin, my peanutty pumpkin, my cheddar cheese Cheez-It named after Wicket, my blueberry, my carrot, my sweet potato, and my breath freshening Yorkie. So it's all 8 treats in one.
Did you say breath freshening?
I did Yorkie puppy mint patties.
Oh my gosh, okay, I love it.
And this is just a sampling of my new bags and my new logo. So that is all the treats that I just mentioned. And I will say, none of the treats, you see them at a store or you see them at one of my shows, they're not breed specific. It's just a cute play on words.
Sure.
And it usually gets people talking like, oh, blueberry Bichon bite, I wonder what that is. Oh, a carrot nibbler, or a sweet char potato.
Oh, look at these two.
So after Wicket passed, it took about 1.5 years, and we got Gizmo, who is our little shih tzu on the right. He is my little ham. He's on a constant diet. He can't seem to lose weight because he's very lazy, but he's a good boy. He loves the taste test. So he is now 5. And Gadget, our little white shih tzu, is the little terror of the house. He definitely takes after Wicket. He's the barker and full of energy. And he is 3 years old, so they both do all the taste testing duties. They are always in the kitchen begging when I'm bagging treats, when I'm making treats. They do a really great job.
Oh, look at that. They're real ingredients. There they are.
This is it. I try to keep all my ingredients as simple as possible. So these are the shih-tzus. It's honestly simple. It's oatmeal. You don't see the flour in there, but there's egg and there's cheese. I try to keep it things, if I wouldn't eat them, I'm not giving it to my dog, and I don't want your dogs having it either, so.
Well, it would be hard to maintain a little figure for a Shih Tzu if their dog mom made all these delicious treats in her kitchen. I mean, how can you expect them to have a trim waistline?
It's hard.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And it sounds like you've really expanded. Thinking back, I mean, it's almost 20 years now that you've been in business, and to see the growth, I mean, like you said, even in the pictures you can see it.
Yes.
And that's exciting. And I can't believe it's already time to come to another break.
Oh my
I know in the
goodness.
next segment you're going to actually talk us through some of the things we have on the table, because it sounds like you've teased us with a couple of different flavors and diets that you have. And we know that with everyone getting dogs during the pandemic, even more, this is going to be even more popular. So stick with us. We'll be right back, and you'll hear more from Dawn.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Sounds like you could use some Van Gogurt. It's fortified with arch-rich nutrients to improve your math and reading skills. Catch!
Van Gogurt, thanks. So what's the deal with your ear?
Always with the ear, huh?
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Mom, can I have $1?
Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed.
It's not here.
Check the dining room.
No.
What about your sister's room?
It's not there either.
The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson, and with me today is Dawn Sommers from Doggone Delicious Dog Treats. Well, we heard about how the business started. You talked to us a little bit about COVID. We heard about Wicket and your other wonderful furry friends. And I know you brought with you today some samples of what you have. So just talk us through, you mentioned some of the flavors. Any that you missed that you want to highlight, or any fun new flavors coming down the pipe?
There are some ones I missed.
Okay.
So I do have a diabetic dog treat.
Oh, wonderful.
It's my blueberry Appalachian ginger snaps.
Okay.
So it's a big name. They are small pieces, maybe a ½ inch square, and they're just blueberries, apple, ginger, and flour. So they are low fat, low protein, and low moisture, so they're perfect for dogs that have diabetes.
And I've found, even in our own family owning dogs, there's so many conditions that are coming out now that even like 20, 30 years ago were unheard of. But now we're getting better, vets are getting better at diagnosing exactly what's wrong with the dog. So it sounds like you're really responding to that need.
I am doing my best. I've had people say, well, I need something like, those treats are great for dogs with pancreatitis because they can't have the protein or the fat. And I've had others say, well, my dog can't have any grains at all. So I usually recommend they go to my Totally Nuts, which is just another catchy name, but it's peanut butter and coconut flour. There's others, I have people say, well, my dog has a really sensitive stomach, and I can't really go on any crazy flavors, it'll upset them some more, so I usually lead them towards my Pugkin treats, which are my pumpkin treats, which is just pumpkin, molasses, cinnamon, and flour. So I try to keep it as simple as possible, and it's good on those dogs' sensitive stomachs.
And having owned dogs that had lots of medical issues, I appreciate so much that you've got such a nice variety, because I remember, the time going to the vet where they said you have to keep it solely on this food because there's, so many different ingredients that could harm the dog and for their particular condition. And it sounds like you've been able to help dog owners experience the joy of treating our little furry friends when, they've done something wonderful or just for no reason at all.
Yes, no reason at all is a great idea for a dog treat. You might as well spoil them, they deserve it.
I agree. So what do you see for the future of your business? We're still in the pandemic, clearly we're still wearing masks, but what do you see beyond where we are now?
I see continuing to do shows.
Okay.
Those shows are all on my website, which is www.doggone.deliciousdogtreats.com.
Will you say it one more time?
Yes. www.doggone.deliciousdogtreats.com. I will be updating. I update at the end of the year every year for my show, so they will be up for 2022 and then eventually 2023. So I expect to continue doing shows. I also anticipate adding more stores that carry my treats as well. That has blossomed before COVID and continued to blossom, so I'm hoping to add some more stores as well. So in case you purchase treats at one of my shows, let's say in Lansing, maybe a store close to Lansing has a treat. So you don't have to order them from my website, but you can also just go to that local store and pick them up, whatever is most convenient for you.
And do you know off the top of your head any stores that carry, in case people are watching, they're like, oh, does any that come to mind? Or could we find them on your website?
You can find them all on my website.
Cool.
So everything is listed on there. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And I also, once in a while, put those on my Facebook page as well. I try to let people know where they can go if they're not able to order on the website or want to save on shipping.
Awesome, wonderful. I checked out your Facebook page and I saw lots of great activity there too. You have a lot of likes.
It's taken time, but yes.
Yeah,
20 years get you a lot of likes after a while. So, and I love that people have referred, my name and business, and they're like, oh, purchase Doggone Delicious Dog Treats. So it's been a real blessing.
What has surprised you most about starting this business and maintaining this business?
I think the success I've had. I never expected to be at this point and still teaching full time. I just kind of figured I'd make dog treats for Wicket and he would enjoy them. And now I'm in stores, and my father just took treats up to Amazing Mitten and Frankenmuth yesterday. I mean, so it's just amazing how far I've come, and I'm very blessed to be this far along in the business.
And what advice would you have? There could be people out there watching and they're like, you know, I'm working and I've had this little idea for a business, but I don't really know if it's going to go anywhere. What would you say to people who are just considering maybe starting their own business?
Just like I tell my first graders, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something, you can work hard enough and achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, having a business that I was making money with was not the goal. It has turned to that, so I can afford some finer things in life, like vacations that I couldn't with my teaching salary. But definitely go for it. Don't give up. And ask for help. I've had lots of people ask me, how did I get started? You know, who do I contact? And I've told other dog treat businesses too what to do.
And I'm sure we can keep in touch with you and we can see everything that's coming for the future. Any new flavors or anything you want to sneak here or tell us about?
I do have one new flavor, actually.
Okay.
So it's not a cutesy name like the other ones, like a shih-tzu, but it's my apple honey oatmeal treat.
Oh.
So it is also a low-fat treat, and I know how much Gizmo and Gadget love apples, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's almost like a little apple nugget. It's just, the smells are amazing. You need to come to the kitchen when I'm baking. That's that's when it's the best. So that should be debuting next year.
Okay, wonderful.
I just have to get the official labels printed. They already are approved by the MDARD, so we're just in that final step.
You talk about all of this like such a pro, you know, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. and I'm sure that anybody who's watching out there, they can contact you through the website, maybe ask questions, you know, and can they suggest flavors if they have an inspiration that they're looking for to consider?
They sure can.
Awesome.
And I do special orders as well. I even make dog birthday cakes.
Dog birthday cakes too. Those are very popular too. Dawn, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for telling us all about doggone delicious dog treats.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. And thank you for watching again another wonderful Michigan business that we're so proud to showcase. We will see you next time, and take care until then. Stay safe.